Mozambique was hit by riots that left at least 13 people dead. They caused a 30% increase in the price of bread introduced by the government and then quickly reversed. In the aftermath of the rout, the police have come under heavy criticisms, particularly from the Center for Public Integrity, a good governance think tank headed by former Mozambican journalist Maxi Lomos.
De facto, as conclusões são essas, não é? Nós temos uma polícia bem preparada.
We have found that during the popular protest, the police were ill-prepared. They have used violent means and even live bullets against the crowd. The police are there to protect citizens, and certainly when people are already running risk by taking to the streets, we would like to have a parliamentary inquiry into what happened, who were responsible and who were guilty. But beyond that, we must invest in a police force that operates better, protect our citizens and respect human rights. Now at the heart of the trouble was one issue, the cost of living. Olivier de Schutter is a United Nations Special Rapporteur on the right to food. Does he know how and why the Mozambican government backpedaled so easily?
My information is that they decided to reverse this measure because of the discontent of the population. I have no direct information from the government on this issue, however, and I'm not sure what their actual position is.
Do we actually know the percentage of the total need that Mozambique imports?
Some 90% of the deficit of Mozambique in food is in cereals. So the prices of wheat do play an important role in their balance of payments. However, the major factor here has not been only the increasing prices on global markets, but also the fact that the local currency, the metical, has been seriously devalued as against the South African rand. It lost about 43% of its value. So for a country that must buy outside its imports to feed this population, it is extremely problematic when its own currency is so significantly devalued.
Perhaps one would be inclined to think that this would be a good occasion, as any occasion, to propel a government to think about what can we do to start growing our own.
Yes, absolutely. I think the real reason behind this crisis is really the inability of Mozambique to strengthen its agriculture in order to feed its population.
And who is to blame?
Well, these countries have essentially been encouraged to invest in certain types of commodities that could be exported on the global markets in order for them to acquire higher currencies and to be able thus to repay their external debt. So these countries have produced coffee, cashew nut, tobacco, tea, but they have not invested in supporting farmers to produce manioc, sorgo, millet, or indeed wheat where that can be grown. On average, Mozambique needs some 300,000 tons of wheat every year. Well, they could arrange for a long-term contract with wheat-producing countries in order to be at least insured against volatile prices. In the long term, however, these countries have to invest in domestic agricultural production. They must support their farmers in order for these farmers to be able to produce for the local communities. And this means that these farmers have to be protected.
Can Mozambique pull that off? Is it a country that should normally be able to feed itself?
No, these countries have to be supported.
And that is Olivier de Schutter. He is the United Nations Special Rapporteur on the right to food. For Afrobeat Radio, this is Alex Ampedu Awari. Audio files were supported by Radio Netherlands Worldwide Bridges with Africa program, link up between Africans in the diaspora and Africans in Africa.